I've been asked by a friend at work to make him a coffee table, and as we had a pallet that was made of hardwood, I decided to try and use that. So the first step was to plane everything smooth and level. After the first side was planed level, I had to run it through the table saw to make sure that the planks were all parallel. Next I had to mark where on the planks I would use my router and biscuit cutting bit to fit joining biscuits. I use plenty of glue along the edges and in the slots for the biscuits when joining. It's easier to clean up excess glue than have to re-glue a joint. All that noise in the background is my wife cutting the grass outside. I try to use even pressure along the joint when clamping. I really need to invest in more clamps though. I use a rule to set the fence, then start cutting the timber for the frame. 3-inch oak is about as much as this blade can handle. I use my old number 4 smoothing plane to take all the saw marks off the timber before I do any more with it. Then I turn the timber through 45 degrees and use the same plane to ease the edges. I cut the ends straight and square with my circular saw. Sorry for the wobbly camera. Then it's back to the table saw to trim up the excess on the edges. Next I use my cross-cut sled to cut the material for the breadboard ends. It's the same process for gluing on the ends as it is for gluing up the rest of the planks. Now it's back to the frame and I have to cut and shape the ends to accept the legs. With the ends of the frame shaped and glued together, I can mark out the cross members for the tabletop supports. I measure the depth of the cross member with a set square and transfer that onto the frame. I decide to abandon the pencil and use a marking knife instead. I roughly sand down the tabletop using a 4-inch belt sander and 40 grit paper. With the rough sanding done, I mix up my own wood filler using cheap PVA glue and excess sawdust. It should give the same colour as the rest of the timber. With the filler dry, I start using my random orbital sander to do the fine sanding, this time with 120 grit. I went with a nice mahogany stain on this tabletop. It took 3 coats to get the depth of the colour that I wanted. I glued and clamped the tabletop in place. I left it overnight for the glue to cure fully. I need more clamps. Here you can see where I had to make a couple of relief cuts in the bottom of the tabletop just to take some of the twist out of it. And here's the finished article. 3 coats of mahogany stain, 3 coats of wax, and it's all ready for its new home. I hope the customer's happy with it. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, bye.